Hi, I'm Josette.
I'm Katie.
I'm Naomi.
And we are the band Muna.
You say that you wanna change, but I hope you get everything you want. Everything you want. You say that you need.
I think part of the reason that this project works is that like these are my two best friends and they're the people that I like trust the most, and so I believe that if I bring something to them and they also like resonate with the song, even if it's not their experiences, then that's kind of our litmus test for like other people are going to be affected by this as well. If like, yeah, if the other queers are also vibing, then we can open it up to the larger circle.
And sometimes people will hate what you did. And that has to be okay. You know what I mean? Like, we're comfortable enough with each other, I think, to be able to like work through the rejection. So we try not to like be too precious, and also try not to be too like judgmental or fickle about stuff. We all have to be vulnerable with each other, because I think the process is quite collaborative, but at the same time, like, I think a lot of us do like to take our own space with like whatever our specific craft is.
I do feel that like there is an exploration on this album of just like what your own wants and needs are and how to express that in any given moment. And second record, faking it. Third record, making it.
Kind of. One third of us is not here, for she is in therapy.
Yes, doing
Good
her
for
service.
her. So we are gonna break down some tracks without her, but in her honor.
Yes, this one's for Katie.
Okay, so this song is called Kind of Girl. It is a pretty like bare bones kind of acoustic folk leaning song. I'll just play the beginning and then we can talk about.
Whatever you want to talk about first.
Let's play some guitars. I'm gonna play it without vocals.
Probably won't. Okay, yeah, this starts. In a way, I forgot how the song went at first. I was like, is it gonna be complete silence?
For this song, I think we wanted to keep it like super organic sounding and natural, so it didn't exactly feel right to have a bunch of synth sounds in it. As you may have heard, there's like a lot of strings. I love to use arcade stuff for interstitial or like supplemental organic sound. A lot of the times what we'll do is literally just open up a patch and just play some stuff and record it and then chop it up and make a pad, which is like exactly what happened in this song.
Yeah.
So let me see if I can find.
I would say that we're kind of a digital band when you can't really actually afford to go into a studio and like record a bunch of woodwinds. Like this does it for you.
Yeah. It's also like, it's an idea generating, like part writing, you know, tool as well. So like, yeah, something kind of paddy and droney like this with some reverb on it is something that would easily could easily, you know, make it into a pad that we use. Just giving it that little like mid-range lift. Without it, it does make it feel more like pining and emotional. Like,
Totally.
takes you to more of like, I don't know, a dreamy sort of space. The drums for this song, they were not played by a person. They are programmed drums, but they are real samples. I'll play like the isolated drum stems that come in on the first chorus, and then I'll play the percussion track. So it's a little percussion loop that we made. What this group of percussion sounds is door sounds, like garage door, kitchen cabinet door, the chain of the garage door going up. Peculiar sounds can make interesting production choices. Katie wrote this song on acoustic guitar in the bath. She would not mind us saying that because it's true. She sent us a voice note. We immediately talked about it the next day. So yeah, lyrics and guitar came first, and then we just tried to build like a world around it that felt appropriate and felt like it wasn't distracting from the heartfelt and like vulnerable nature of the lyric.
In our operation, we do so much on our own. Like, we're very insular, and there's so many different elements of like keeping this project up. I think that as I've like found my voice, you know, and just come more into myself, like I've also learned how to sing in a way that is sustainable and has allowed me to play a lot more. It's like you just like give yourself that challenge and then you like live into it. And I feel like this record was a challenge for y'all in a different way, just like making such a massive sounding record.
I think the cool thing about making music right now is like you don't have to have a lot of money to make something that's cool.
Writing parts, like especially when you have like no external hardware, nothing expensive at all, and you're working like just bare bones with the program, I think it is like a really fun one to start on. And it makes like, yeah, music making and production really like interactive. I think when you're learning something new, you like sort of are immediately making new and interesting creative decisions. And so I try to always be like buying a new synth plugin, buying some kind of new processing plugin, or like searching the internet for cool free ones, and just trying to like be continuously learning new like software.
You got so good at programming drums, like making a drum kit have like, I don't know why my word of the day, or actually my word of the record is breath.
Yeah.
Breath and air. You make drums sound like they're actually happening, and I think that's hard to achieve when you're really just like, you're only working in a box.
This is a synth pop song that feels like quintessential Muna vibes to me. We used arcade in this, but I would say I think more significantly we used Portal.
I think this is your favorite thing to do in a funny way.
It's my favorite thing to do. We're going to talk about vocal sampling and how Portal helped make this happen. So we'll just play the intro. So the intro of the song, I don't know, it felt like an exciting moment to be able to tease a vocal from later on in the song, but make like a rhythmic sort of groovy pattern with it, and something that is fun to do. Put Portal on a bus or in Ableton in a group. It will create quite bizarre rhythms. It can pitch shift, it can do like super granular, strange, just bizarre filtration stuff that like would be quite hard to do manually, and can be quite exciting to then record what it creates and then cut it together, make a rhythmic pattern. This is like truly, I think, the first like setting that you can go on, but there's so many that do different sort of pitching and rhythm stuff, but let's just hear like what it does to this. Like a tremolo and like slowing everything down, which is so cool. And this might sound nutso, but let's hear it. So it creates like interesting rhythms. Yeah, there's so many different things you can go through and make it glitchy and do quite like strange stuff. What was fun was to just record as many of those, going through all those presets as possible. And then we ended up with this. We put a couple different plugins on the vocal sample. It's a plugin called RC20 that is really nice for making things sound a bit like analog and tapey. And then a nice little medium gated sort of 80s reverb. This is the culmination of like all the sampling and the cutting up and then paring it down into a pattern that felt good. Now let's talk about some quote unquote guitars.
Trying to get these guitars to work was a quest.
Just like cool. So that's also a guitar.
Yeah, we can solo that.
I'm super proud of how this song turned out.
Why don't we play the
solo?
So this is a combination of all those things, like us using the synth pedal and Naomi like messing with it as I'm playing and then throwing it all through Portal and then also just chopping everything up and trying to make it musical.
It's just a little solo in the last chorus that truly sounds like a synth solo, which is cool and wild.
I feel like all of our records are like, I don't see them as like two opposites. It's like, I just see them as different points on like this larger spectrum. It feels really good to be able to like share songs with our community. Oh my God, like I just got a message today from someone who was like, I just like listened to Kind of Girl and I like reported my abuser and like, just like all of these like huge things, like huge moments in people's lives that like they're deciding to make better choices. Like that's just, it's so crazy to get to do this, you know, so.
We all have completely different experiences gender-wise.
There's this sense of like, the most important thing is that I'm like in my body and I'm connected with myself and what's right for me. If I'm disappointing other people because of that, that's too bad.
Like, I don't know. Maybe you stop wanting to appease people at a certain point or like cater to people's expectations of what they want you to be or look like or say or like whatever.
In terms of us being successful, I want us to be so successful that we make every homophobe so upset. We're here, we're queer.
We want to be so successful that no more homophobes even exist.
Wow, that's better. That's
They
really
all
better.
get converted.
They like the music so much.
Yeah.
They just don't have a choice but to really like
They don't
it.
have a choice. That's a
And
better
we need
thing.
a new synth. So
We need new
Someone hit
synths.
us
We
up.
need some, you know, a stylist.
We need a lunchbox.